Are we going? Are we going? Yes.
We are on.
Okay, we're
You
live.
guys, we just had to discuss getting something done for you because we were going to do a reading.
We're going to do a reading because we do all kinds of readings.
We do all kinds of readings, and we were just trying to determine whether or not we were going to... Hot baby. V, hey, gorgeous duo X, I want to eat you up. Haha. Well, we haven't been cooked yet, so we're not ready to eat. So we're going to talk about the new moon.
We're talking about the new moon.
In Taurus.
Taurus is all about physical attraction, so you were on with that. You know, Tauruses are all about, like...
This is the energy we're working with.
Yes, having that trophy wife or husband. Tauruses are totally okay with that.
High priestess. The moon. The moon is exalted in Taurus.
The moon is exalted in Taurus.
It loves to be there.
It loves to be there.
And we like it as Cancer moons when the moon is there, right?
Yeah. Taurus is all about I have.
Hey, Mary Shaw.
And Cancer needs to feel secure.
Right.
So it's kind of like those two are kind of married to each other in their ideals. You know, it's like the moon really feels like it's got all the land it needs so the water can flow and make things grow. They're just naturally very compatible.
Right. Okay, word. I love that. So when we think about Taurus, what do we think about? We think about the Hierophant card.
Yes, mercy. We think about work. We think about ritualism. We think about, yes, we think about the time of 18 to 15 in your life, basically.
Right.
The
when
time
you're getting involved with institutions like colleges.
Right. With colleges, your friends, your little cliques, you start to realize what it means to be popular, unpopular, who's best dressed, who's this, that, and other, who stays after school for their club things,
all that stuff.
All that type of stuff. Your first kiss, right? Tauruses rule the throat.
Right.
Known to be really great kissers, right?
You're probably also even like in that college phase of playing sports too. So it's like at a very heightened sense, right? Because, you know, college sports are almost bigger than like the pro sports.
Also, you rule sexuality during that time. It's like the time when really all those weird sexual things are happening. But in movies and stuff, you always see it happening like when they're like late high school and college. But really, it's like when you're during your Taurus seasons, when you're in like 7th and 8th grade and things are, your puberty's going on,
your
and
ascendant,
all of that.
Mary Shaw says her ascendant is 1 degree Taurus. That's kind of cool.
1 degree? Yeah, that's critical.
At 11 people with one like.
I have a critical degree in Mercury.
It's 333.
I feel that.
Okay. 1 degree of Taurus. Yes, got it. Beautiful.
Okay, Taurus. Yeah. So I wonder what Taurus plays that role for you in your life.
How do people see you? Do they see you as like someone who provides things? Are you the one who rallies everyone together to like collect the funds when you're surprising someone with a party?
You're probably good at funds,
like a vacation or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like you guys are really good at pulling things together and like collecting things.
Right. The physical realm is very important to you when it comes to beautifying things and people around you. Right. People around you who are beautiful. Your spouse might even be very attractive.
Okay,
like you're going to be somebody that's kind of into that.
Mercury in Taurus. And you know what? Mercury is in Taurus right now. Presently, that's what we're talking about is very...
We're talking about Taurus. We're communicating right now.
Yeah. Regardless of what the card says, Mercury is in Taurus.
Mercury is in Taurus. Now. And Mercury doesn't necessarily like to be there.
But we were talking about Taurus, right?
Right. Mercury is like fast. It's about communication and analysis. And Taurus kind of fears change. Fears the change of the routine. I always do it this way. I've been in this type of order of doing things. And that's kind of like not cool for Taurus, you know, to be having to change it up.
The great thing about this is that it's like basically happening at the time of the new moon in Taurus. You got Mercury in Taurus. You also have the sun in Taurus, right?
Some of you have been having some really hot sex, but there's not a lot of depth to the relationship, and you're wondering if it's going to go somewhere, and this card is saying it's not. Some of you need to focus more on the spiritual realm. Maybe you're staying really you're feeling really frustrated or dissatisfied with a lot of things that are going on because you haven't really connected with a higher self in a while. Be it going to church, be it just going to a yoga class or praying or doing something that isn't just primarily focused on something physical.
Right.
You know,
it's like it's time to stop thinking about like material things so much as you're kind of like used to, or we are all kind of used to that because we're like programmed to think about material things, right? We need clothes to wear, we need money to buy things,
right?
We need a home to live in, we need a car to drive, or we need that metro card to get on the subway.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's really just about centering yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And learning how to channel all of that energy into something that's going to be progressive for you at this new moon.
You're really thinking about, like, a lot of people might be thinking about family right now. Like I said before, because Cancer does rule that fourth house of like family in that way. And it's in the new moon, Taurus, which is the ruler of Cancer. The new moon is in Taurus right now. Right. This is a Taurus card as well.
And
it's saying, we're not alone. We're in this together. You might be affected by other people right now and something. Maybe something happened somehow, or somebody's finances is affecting somebody else's finances, a spouse or a parent or a child even.
Yeah.
You know, and they've got some bills or they're going off to college and now you're worried about that and communicating and how much that's going to cost you. Or, you know, somebody's child might even be pregnant or something like that.
You're feeling some conflict moving forward with someone too. And it's not like there's like an argument or a dissent. There was a dissension probably in the
transformation.
Past, and there's a transformation, exactly. Because like this is a cleansing right here with this new moon. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just going to lay the cards out.
There's like a destruction, or it's saying like to have a destruction even. You know, sometimes you have to rip some things down that have always been a certain way in order to have that new beginning. Because from the 7 to the 8, transformation is that, right? The 6 is about the actual little success of life, which seems like a huge success, which is the monetary gain. Right. Oh, I got the new house, or I got the new marriage, but how's the marriage going? I got the new house, but how is the repairs on it? Or what's the value of it now? This type of thing, you know? And then getting to the 8 is like realizing that I'm me in every scenario. I'm having this new beginning of self, right? This new epiphany of self where, you know, I'm realizing that I can produce and I produced once and I can produce again.
Right.
You know,
this is just kind of like a general thing that we're doing for you guys. It's like a bonus for the new moon. Okay.
Right.
So you got the Chariot here crowning your reading, which is really talking about getting a handle on your emotions and your drive, meaning your creative passions. You know what I mean? How passionate are you about having this transition happen? Yes. Letting it occur. Mm-hmm. And how are you steering yourself throughout it? You know, it's not getting too out of hand.
A lot of people, yeah, they might even be, because this isn't general. So it's like, how are you feeling to these new structures? Maybe something's just requiring a lot more effort than you wanted to put in initially, and you're intimidated by that. Or some of you might have just gotten a sudden flush of feeling for something very physical. Right. It could be a person. Right. Either somebody put an advance towards you, right. Or you really got your eye on someone, right. And you're very clear about it.
The feelings are passionate here, mm-hmm. and the energy is passionate.
It's like Sagittarius, Taurus energy. You could even be dealing with the Sagittarius.
You've got all the fire
Taurus,
energy.
Yeah. It could be business related for sure, because those two are very strong in the workforce, right? And having the endurance, like Taurus is all about building, and Sagittarius, the higher learner, right, is all about expanding. So they're kind of like married to each other in that aspect, right?
Some of you are kind of worried about, you know, whether or not you feel like you're working hard enough, right? You don't want to feel like you're challenged in the sense where you feel like you might be being lazy or something like that, right?
Y'all be so on point, all up in my business.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. Yeah, we are connected, you know. We just we're here for the messages for you guys.
You guys are really thinking about your money and how you're going to, we all are thinking about our money and how we're going to
Taurus.
Continue to say, right, it's a new moon, right? And we both burn money candles. So it's mm-hmm. Money is really a thing. The security, you know, you got the Chariot there, that security. You're thinking about security. We're all thinking about security with the Queen of Cups right here, yeah?
And if you think about your ritualisms and how Taurus is fixed Earth, so that reason why they fear that change is because it's like always so dramatic, and you know how much energy it takes to get things going or working for you with certain realms.
The night,
the Earth, volcano, avalanche, tornado, hurricane.
The night says that the change is happening, right? The change is going to happen. You know what I mean? It's like you're worried about the change occurring, but it's like, get out of that comfort zone. You are out of your comfort zone already because you know that the change is going to occur. And it's good, you know what I mean? You've got the endurance to get through it, right? You have the passion. What's going on here in the home for people?
I mean, you've got the Emperor here in your home.
Mm-hmm.
So some of you are thinking about constructing right now. Constructing something in the home life. Maybe even just feelings of like beauty. You could definitely be thinking about like your father or like your parents right now for some reason or another. Mother's Day did just happen. Father, you know, we were talking about how you think about your father sometimes.
This is like what the kids are going to do for Dad on Father's Day. Are you guys like planning something with your kids for Father's Day?
Definitely.
Some of you are.
Yeah, you're thinking about sharing gifts. Yeah, and the work that you need to put into like your family life, because something's troublesome there with the family life.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and the creativity and the passions here, you know, we'll get to that soon because that could be like a family secret.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot of certain things that are just not coming to the surface yet. Let's see, in your mind, you've got Mars and Leo. So you want to like
Abigail, we've done a Scorpio reading, darling. It's on.
Yeah, all of our May readings are on.
It was the first one one of the first ones we did. We did Taurus and Scorpio first.
This is talking about just the new moon in general, which is opposing Scorpio. So
right, because the new moon is in Taurus and it is opposing Scorpio right now as we speak. Mm-hmm. And Jupiter is there retrograde, right? In Scorpio. We got any Scorpios up in here? How's that Jupiter in your first house treating you?
Jupiter and Scorpio, he's still there, expanding all those deep feelings for everybody.
Joy,
this has been such a watery time.
Joy, we do Virgo. Virgo was one of our first. It was the first.
Virgo, reading. You guys got to go first this time around. Yeah, you guys got to go first in May. You were lucky.
Yeah. I'm 8th house Sag.
So let's talk a little bit about cusping, since, you know, also this is the new moon.
This is a Cancer Leo cusp here.
And right now we're about to be leaving Taurus, right? We're in the phase 3 of Taurus, and we're going into Taurus Gemini cusp.
Yes.
Right? So now we're going to be on this cusp of what? Fixed Earth.
Right.
And mutable air. And this is basically that transition of the structures of your life into college, basically. It's literally like that time of the zodiac where you start being able to really be licensed to go off on your own. You got a license.
Right.
You don't have to necessarily come home now. You live in a dorm.
Right.
And now you get to go off to a party and, you know, and all this stuff. And
now you're your own boss.
You have to trust in yourself that you're going to get to school on time.
Maybe some of you, if you're moms and you have kids who are teenagers, I was actually thinking about this earlier. If they're like 18, 17, you know, 19, going to college, I know you guys are probably worried, right? Moon and Taurus. Oh, my kids.
Well, there's so much going on right now with schools and the violence and everything that's been going on. I mean, as a parent, I'm sure it is worrisome.
Natural to worry.
You know, just societally, Uranus has just shifted into Taurus for the next 7 years as well.
Right.
And that really talks about societal humanitarian issues as well, right? It's like Social Security and stuff like this, you know, structures that affect everybody.
Okay.
Life insurance, you know, stuff like this. Like
Joy says that her granddaughter is getting ready to go to college. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, with Uranus and Neptune being where they are, we can really start to look at some medical advancement, right? We're nearing that time of Aquarius, so that's something that we can all start to see. Medical advancement and things like that are just really going to pick up.
We're going to be thinking more about what we physically have. I mean, the bottom of the deck with the Four of Pentacles, Sun in Capricorn, is like you're thinking about your friends and your family. You're thinking about your work in reference to that, your heritage, how far this has gotten you.
All the pieces that make up the structure in your life, right?
Right.
All of us. 2
queens. You got 3 queens. All 4 queens are out. Wow. All 4 queens are out in this reading for the new moon in Taurus.
Okay. Well, you know the energy of the female is more predominant.
So, water, that's the queens are all about water.
We're all about water here. You got the Chariot to back it up.
This, I think also with everything that just kind of happened this past year, a lot of people are feeling a lot more than they usually do.
Women have been at
the forefront. Yes, definitely when it comes to a lot of news that's been going on, a lot of things that have been hidden. Because water is always about things that are hidden, right? Right. Scorpio, Sun in Scorpio. These types of things. These types of things. And this happening from it. Because this could very much be like harassment. This could be a rape. This could be a lot of things, especially in reverse, right? This is like an advancement of like
influence. So it's a challenge.
It's a very spirited, intimidating.
This isn't the passion and the creativity and the drive.
That's fire on fire. Right. This is in your heart. So this is like saying for a lot of people right now, maybe there is been like this is bitterness.
There's definitely been some scorn.
This is bitterness. This is scorn.
Destruction.
This is Sun and Scorpio in general, right? So this is like I want to share some deep emotions. Now, if it's in reverse, you already know that this is really weak and this is not positive.
Yeah.
Right. These are not positive emotions necessarily. Maybe this is like some type of abuse even from the childhood. Even a parent might have been really abusive in some way, verbally, sexually, anything that you deal with quietly alone.
And it's been in a heightened state in your mind since you can think of it having.
It could be a divorce. It could be really just, it could have been an offense even.
Right.
You know, this is Taurus season. Right. So you're thinking a lot about what you have versus what you don't have. Right. I have a parent. I don't have a parent. I have, a spouse. I don't have a spouse.
Search Rob, how do you guys feel about Vedic astrology? I would love you guys to explain one day in another site. So Dale has actually been studying a little bit.
Yeah.
And I haven't studied so much of it. I usually do Western, but because he's studying it, I will be studying it a little bit more. So we will incorporate those things. If you guys would like natal chart readings, we also offer those, but they're at a higher price because, then it takes a little bit more time to generate and come up with the information and see the aspects and how they affect each other. And then we'll have to get together and explain it to each other because he'll have to explain some things to me. And then I'll be able to come up with some things and bring them up to him. So it's a whole process, but it gets really thorough and it's very good. You leave with a lot of information about yourself and your houses and what they mean for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the gist of it. Yeah. Because we both have a lot of different backgrounds. When it comes to things like that. I studied Tai Chi. That was the beginning for me. We both have South Sag nodes. So we both come from some type of spiritual background in our past lives where we've done a lot of conditioning and work. And that spiritual realm, we really understand it.
Yeah.
That's like where we work at. And he and I both come from a very spiritual background with our heritage and our grandparents as well. And this, that, and the third. And then
Danny, that's very sweet. I'm sorry that you had to go through any of those things, but it's wonderful that you're able to move forward.
I've been studying Vedic a little bit, definitely. I'm definitely into it because, I had a whole experience about 10 years ago now. I was raised Christian and I still have a very deep spiritual connection with just God in general and how he plays his role in my life. But I had a Buddhist experience about 10 or 11 years ago where I went on a yoga retreat and a friend went with me. I was blessed by Swamiji, a master Buddha. And from that day forward, which was September 17th of 2008, I became vegetarian. Now, I was raised on soul food. This is me, you know, pork chops, fried, everything, you know. So it was like a whole experience for me to have this transformation, which, you know, I'm not judging anybody for anything. Guy I've ever dated was not a vegetarian. So it's not about that. It's mostly about like the path of what it is of discovery.
Right.
And, you know, with the cards and everything, I did the whole Tai Chi realm, which led to palmistry, which then led to me studying astrology for years. And then some tarot cards were introduced to me. And those cards were with me for a long time before I separated with them, took a break for years, and then kind of found my way back actually through something serendipitous with Kendrick. And if you watch some of our bios and our other videos, we get kind of into that a little bit.
We love you guys too.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, you know, maybe something happened at work where, you know, somebody got a position that you were vying for. Maybe someone had a better idea than you that went through.
This could be sisters competition in some type of way with your friends, or definitely two queens, and one had these thoughts and one has the thing.
This could be in regards to this energy right here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And these are the people that are involved in that.
Or just like mommy issues really coming to the light. Yeah. From Mother's Day, maybe the loss of mom, or just like her not really knowing all of the aspects that you want to share.
Do some of you have a business with your mom?
You guys want to share stuff. Self-expression, the queen.
Yes, work-related energy. I'm so glad you two did this. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you guys.
Maybe you're intimidated by the idea of how much energy it's going to take to do the work. This is the Night of Fire too, so it could just be you. And the idea of feeling spirited, the rush of work coming in.
Right.
And maybe you need to tame some of those emotions, right? Because you've been asking a lot about, like, am I on my right path? I don't want to waste my time and energy with stuff. And it's saying you are on your right path. First of all, anything, that's an investment into yourself is a good investment. You know what I mean? Anything that you feel like is going to be serving you in the long run and your family, that's going to bring in the dollars or going to bring in the feeling of security, is worth it.
Right.
Right?
How are you going to do it? Right? How are you going to use your abilities, right, to get those things done? It's not really about like knowing what your abilities are. It's about using them and activating it. Like, where does your power lie? Because we all have some power in some degree, to some degree. So it's like, how are you exercising your power, right?
It seems like a lot of people are just not really feeling appreciated. This was in reverse. Appreciated for their work that they do,
right?
Or for a relationship, some part of a relationship that's very close to home. You know, this is kind of like that time too, Taurus, where it's like you might not actually have all of the information on something, and so you're making judgments, or people don't know all of the information about you somehow, and then that's causing some type of angst.
You know, I feel like because we're gonna get ready to close the reading out. Maybe we got like 7 more minutes, you guys. But you know,
if you guys have some questions or something,
yeah, it's time.
It's
time for you guys to cleanse your energy of anything that may have been making you feel discouraged, or may have made you feel like you weren't going to be able to move forward in a new way, right? Because it is the new moon.
Uranus will assist you, Monique.
You want to manifest something, and it's like you also want to attract things too. So it's like what you put energy into thinking about is what is going to be on your mind.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And this, I mean, it's Uranus in that sense too. It is egotistical. Neptune is a little bit more non-egotistical and is more willing to give more of itself, right? Uranus is the one that's going to a little bit hold back a little bit more. It's ruled by Aquarius in that way. So it's kind of like really going to measure twice and cut once. Right. So it's kind of like seeing things coming before they're coming, planning things out. And there's a lot of inconsistency with the news, with media, with like Capricorn rules a lot of that type of stuff.
Right.
So, and I'm seeing a lot of Capricorn coming up for everybody. So I think all this news with politicians and how much faith you can put in the American dollar, even, for goodness sake. You know, people used to bury their money. Okay. I'm just saying, you know, so it's just like, that type of stuff in relationship to how much work you put into something. And what most people do that for is for family. Right. Is for these feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in that, it's the feelings of self, right?
Yes.
And Cancer is all about evolution too. So it's saying that we need to strive to be flexible. And I think being flexible during this time and really really wanting to communicate with the physical realm, maybe we need to get back to a place where what is there, we have spent so much time in our heads, even passionately so, with Aries.
Some of you are feeling
even with social media and stuff.
Some of you are feeling like because you are so receptive and so warm and so loving that people are going to take advantage of you, right? So then you end up having to fend for yourself after being, welcoming to someone. Yeah.
This is that's Mars and Leo,
yeah.
Some of you, and that's like, Mars is always like the guy that you call. He's like the engineer. He's like the guy you call to do the job, right? And he's like the best guy for the job. He's not necessarily the king or something, but he's the best guy.
Tarot. Hi.
And then Mars and Leo, it's like, I'm feeling really passionate about this. You might actually be fighting something in your mind,
right?
But you have the advantage,
right?
You're spirited with it. This could even be, some of you are really weighing out some things even on the relationship front. And maybe that affects your finances somehow, you and your mate, or you and your long-term person. Maybe you're thinking about moving in together in some type of real estate sense too. Taurus ruling real estate and ritualisms. So if you change up, like if you move in with somebody, that's going to change your life. That's going to change your ritualisms. That's going to change how you feel and affect how you communicate, Mercury and Taurus, what you have, right? How you communicate what you have. This is also about hope. This is like getting out of this conflict. How do you get out of this conflict in this card? The conflict in this card is like, you see that anchor there? The anchor that's hidden in, the anchor of hope.
It's about realizing that there's a way out.
Right. This weather, everything. The man ain't got no shoe. Yeah. The other man's a leper. But look, they're walking past the church. They're walking past the actual structure.
The strength that they have is that they have each other, but then they could also have more by being helped. And it's just around the corner. You know what I mean? It's like, don't think that you're alone when help is really just
This is some quietly suffering stuff right here. Maybe some other person knows. Maybe you're quietly suffering either in a relationship or somebody hurt somebody and you haven't fully expressed that hurt. So you can't fix anything with it. You can't ring in the emotions. Right, you can't have this destruction of the emotions and have the new beginning with the 8.
It's like someone or something exhibited itself to you, and not in the way that you thought that you were sure it was. Truthfully,
and these 7s are married to each other, right. So there's that 7 behind why you're feeling that way, right? You're feeling like you have to fight through some stuff. Get out of the way. Me. Right.
Right, exactly. So, it's kind of really about acknowledging those slanders, acknowledging those hurts, those
seeing things as they really are, too.
Seeing things as they really are.
At home, too. Right? I don't know what's going on at home. Like maybe one of your kids is driving you crazy and they're the good kid, so you don't want to think they're doing something bad, but they are.
Right.
Or your husband. Maybe some of you are worried. You've been tormented about something. They did something in the past. You're wondering if they're doing it again. They may be. You need to be real.
But they are a good student. You know what I mean? It's like they are that person that people want their other kids to be like. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't get into any mischief.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hello. We all have.
There's a lot of like supreme knowing here. All the queens showed up. All 4 of the queens. Y'all better get it with these queens. So this is just like intuitive self-expression, like you wanting to know, wanting to investigate, wanting to uncover. In the mind, it's like you've been thinking about your emotions and why they drive you. At work, you've been thinking about, like you're seen as somebody who really has what it takes. You're wondering if you're being seen that way too.
Right. Yes.
Like your peers maybe your peers are seeing you that way, but your higher ups aren't acknowledging you as stuff. They're not giving you your props.
Mr. Cheetah said, I'm going to get a Providence Tarot tattoo. We'll have to come up with, you know, like
we'll get a
our
little logo for you. Yeah, we're working on stuff like that, of course.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
we love you guys. Yeah.
We have Venus and Leo, so we're all in that, right?
Definitely both have Venus and Leo. She's gonna be there soon.
She's gonna be there soon. Right now, she's at the end of Gemini.
Right. She's coming towards the end of Gemini. Then she's gonna go into Cancer.
Then she's gonna go into Cancer.
That's giving you 2 of Cups energy.
It is, yes, within the tarot.
Yeah. Venus and Gemini. Okay.
Yeah. So in our minds, in general, like Leo is definitely there. So it might be some type of feelings of self intuitively, what you feel like in your mind.
Right.
Like
what you're having to go through. Right.
Right. All of these communications in general, ironically, the first card was Taurus. So it is about communications of finances. It is about communications of real estate. It is about manifestations. Okay.
Absolutely.
We're about to round out, guys.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna round it out. We love you guys.
Oh, yay. We love you guys too.
We just wanted to you know, thank everybody for watching. Shout out to Baruch Tarot for popping in.
Yeah.
Watching you.
We'll be doing more of these. We'll be going live more. It's actually easier, more convenient. And we love connecting with you guys and reading your comments.
Where can you reach us? So what you want to do is email providencetarot@gmail.com. We are at Providence Tarot on Instagram.
Right. And
we are Providence Tarot on Facebook.
Right.
Okay.
So it's all Providence Tarot. It's the same. And then personally,
I'm Kendrick NYC and NYC Kendrick. NYC Kendrick is the main account on Instagram.
He's giving you both sides. If you really want to reach him, it's NYC Kendrick. And I'm bluish true, like the bluest color in the sky. Bluest and true.
2 T's.
Yes, it's 2 T's. And I do have a writer account because I am also a writer. So son of Lolita. My mother's name is Lolita, and I am her son. But it's son, S-U-N, because I'm a Leo. So son of Lolita. You know, I also do Shay's Fitness. I'm a Pilates instructor. We do lots of things. We're dancers. I have a degree in contemporary dance. So we might just there'll be lots of entertaining things. I paint. So there'll be a lot of different things that you'll get if you guys stay up on the channel.
We'll be getting to doing the June videos soon.
Very soon, actually. Yeah. Right. So the June videos, we'll start pumping them out before June. We were running a little lax before with things, and we're both busy. We're 2 people.
You guys have 2 weeks.
So we kind of have to come together, schedule things out, making sure that it's right, the energies are right. We think about all that stuff. Sometimes the colors that we're wearing, the weather, insides, outsides, you know, all of that stuff, you know, because you all have different needs.
Right. If you guys are in New York, then, you know, we will do in-person readings for you. So, you know, if you're in New York, it's a little bit of a bonus because you're very close to us and there are 2 people in New York that you could see.
Right. Well, eventually we have gotten a few offers with some venues. And once it gets a little bit warmer outside, we love being by the water because we both have Cancer moons. So a short area to find us at specific times of the day, we will post and let you know, but it will be by the Chelsea Pier. So we'll be over by the Chelsea Pier, probably. No crazies, hopefully. Well, it's New York, so whatever.
On the first house, so I know I'm looking.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll be out there and we'll do simple stuff out there. You know, 3-card spread, you know, $15 reading, something like that. Just quick stuff where you can connect with us.
If you want to hire us for parties,
we do group rates. That's a little bit more expensive, obviously. We can talk to
you about that privately.
We do have a flat rate to just book it, and then there are other things once we accommodate in it, depending on how many people, this, that, and the third. Okay, guys?
All right. Well, we're going to let you guys go.
We're going to let you go. We've got lives to
New Moon
to live.
In Taurus. So this is energy for the new moon. Do your cleansings, do your manifestations.
And whatever it is with sexuality, too, Taurus does rule sexuality. So if you're thinking about improving yourself, or you want to feel sexy, or you want to bring in this mate, this is the time to really focus in on that. If you're not fulfilled sexually, this is the time to think about why, what it is that you really innately feel like is going to be pleasing for you. Getting back to that, regardless of whatever else other people's emotions are. That's a really important message, especially with Uranus. because it's very non-discriminatory. Uranus is.
If somebody's thinking about going back to school, then you want to really look at that, right?
Right.
See what the possibilities are. If the place that you went before you can't go back to, you feel like you don't want to go back to, or you want to go somewhere, you want to do something completely different, but you want to get some training in it. Maybe you want to get a certification in it. Maybe you want to get a degree or something in it.
Yeah.
Do it, because it's saying that, this is a time to manifest that, especially during the Taurus season.
During the Taurus season.
Begin it. Start it now.
Some of you are feeling like something's in the way of something greater, and you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just be honest with yourself. And that could be a relationship. That could be a routine that needs to be broken.
Sometimes we are our biggest obstacle. Sometimes. Not always.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So think about that.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.